Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode. I am Micheal Petrow. Joining me on the show this week is Martin Navarro, friend of the show and podcaster Sean Mcginity from the Sean Geek podcast, and first-timer special guest Dean Manness from the Talking Back podcast. Dean came on. We figured we'd combine forces with another film podcast in Manitoba and see if we can entertain you just that much more. So when Dean came on, we were like, what should we argue? What should we talk about? What should we put him through? And we came up with a pretty easy, agreeable idea. We all know COVID-19 has not been kind on us. Either your mental health, your employment, your weight, your addictions, something in some way, shape, or form has taken a beating and kind of put you out of whack from what you used to be before COVID. So we decided, wouldn't it be fun to argue what movie character would be the best goddamn life coach out there? Tony Robbins, eat your goddamn heart out. So that's what we're doing, ladies and gentlemen. Masturbation is taking place. We're going to argue what movie character we think is the best choice for a life coach, why they would do a good job, what experience from their film they would bring to the table, and all of the hilarity that always ensues with a conversation like this. So that's who's on the show. That's what's on the show. We have no housekeeping. We have no updates. So if this is your 115th time, carry on into the proverbial movie theater. Grab your snacks, grab your drinks. The show is about to begin. But for you newbies, for you first-timers, give me another minute and a half. Maybe 2 minutes. Thank you for pressing play. We really appreciate it. That's a big thing for us. You took a chance. You said, hey, maybe these guys have something to offer. So at the end of the show, if you're so inclined to support us, there's a few ways to do so. I will rifle off as fast as I can what they are. The first being the cheap and easy and free way is just to subscribe and let us show up in your favorite podcast player each and every Wednesday. That means a fuck ton to us. But if you're feeling charitable and you want to buy some merch, if you need a hoodie, or you just want to throw some pocket change at us, there's a donation page and a shop page. A shop page is actually called the Prop Shop. Har, right? You get it. So you go to the Prop Shop, hoodies, hats, t-shirts, sweaters, all that swag is there. Go to the donation tab, throw a buck or two at us. It goes back into production costs, makes the show better. You get to be a part of that experience. We'll call you a co-executive producer. We'll shout your name out on the show and make you feel a whole fucking load better. No, probably won't do that. But you get what I'm saying. These are the ways you can support us if you're so inclined. No pressure, no harm, no foul. At this point, we like to thank the top 10 cities that are listening to us, that are spreading the good debater word around. So, Edmonton, Alberta, bringing in number 10. Gresham, Oregon. Toronto, Ontario. Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. Hello, Dartmouth. Haven't seen you before. Burnaby, British Columbia. Buckonia and Neverville, Manitoba. Sticking around, growing those bars. Concord, North Carolina. You've been around for a while, and we love it. Vancouver, British Columbia, coming in number 2. Winnipeg, you better watch out. Vancouver's approaching you. But still, Winnipeg in number 1. We love everybody that listens to the show, but we just want to shed some light on who's doing the heavy lifting. The water cooler talk, the Monday morning bullshit in the parking lot. Hey, listen to these fuckers. They're funny and dumb. Whatever you're saying, something's happening. So thank you very much. I have nothing else for you. I've taken up too much of your time. Thank you for listening. I will cue the reel, and you enjoy the show.
Let's tidy up this tangle of film by putting it on a reel. Here is a motion picture film, 1,000 feet, 16,000 separate photographs.
Welcome, everybody, to the official space section of the chart.
What's the truth? You can't handle the truth.
Sir, you're out of order.
Out of order. I show you out of order.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another Real Debaters production. This one's kind of special this week. We have an old friend, and we have a new friend on the show to debate, to pontificate, to argue bullshit for you endlessly, at least for the next 2 hours. So first of all, to our old-time friend, local podcaster Sean Mcginity from Sean Geek Podcast. Say hello, Sean.
Hello.
Hello, sir. How are you doing?
I'm doing quite well. How are you?
Please do that the rest of the episode.
That's all I got. I don't have a lot armed there.
Good. And now on to our first-timer, our special guest, our one and only, Dean from Talking Back Podcast, based out of, well, I guess, are you guys all based out of Morden, Dean?
No, it's, I would say it's a Winnipeg podcast as well.
Okay, so it's a common.
It's just me. Just me who's out in Morden.
Okay, all right. You're out in the woods, and then your partner is who?
Tim. My brother Tim is, he lives in Winnipeg. And I would say his studio's the home studio.
Got it. Okay. Well, first of all, thank you for letting me pitch you and saying yes.
Yes, I mean, I'm so excited for this. It's going to be a ton of fun.
That's what we like to hear, because that's the whole point of this, is to incessantly debate for fun. Nobody's a loser I'm usually the loser, if we're going to be honest, but nobody is traditionally a loser on this show their first time. For some reason, the first timers usually walk away with a win because we're a little more lenient than we probably should be. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's kick it off into our first segment. We'll go first.
You didn't introduce me.
Oh, well, you know,
What a jerk. What a
You
jerk.
just skipped me.
Like I was waiting and waiting.
I know. I was ready to do an accent.
Let's do it. Come on.
listen. If you're ready, and rightly so, I've been called out. And in Vancouver, where the land is still hopefully not on fire, Martin Navarro. Say hello, Martin.
Top of the morning to you, governor.
I knew it.
Solid.
That's all I got for accents. I didn't know we were doing one. I would have prepared a character, but that's what you guys get on short notice.
He has been, Sean and Dean, for your own knowledge, he has been, whenever we've done an impression, he just reads a nursery rhyme as that impression, and it's been going off like fucking gangbusters. I never know what's coming. Like, could be Little Miss. He did Christopher Walken, Little Miss Muffet. That was the last one, and it seems that you win doing an impression with a nursery rhyme. I think that's to go. Something you know. Anyways, all right. So now that we've got everybody introduced, my bad, Martin. Sorry about that. We're so used to each other that we've known each other for so long we don't matter anymore on the show.
You're taking me for granted.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
I'll send you a love.
You don't send me flowers anymore. You don't tell me when I just did my hair.
Better watch out. He's going to walk.
Gotta get a counselor on the phone to save this relationship.
Or a life coach.
Nice segue.
Fucking segue, buddy. And you know what? Let's tell everybody what they can expect today. So before we crack into our weekly watch lists, the debate for this week. We've had, everybody I think can admit, we've had one fucking crazy year and a half with the pandemic and this little thing called the pandemic. So I thought, wouldn't it be fun? Because I think the number one thing that kind of came out of it was like people's mental health suffered the most. Right? Like, aside from the death, which is obvious, I don't want to try to compare the two because you can't. But if there was a side effect from the pandemic that nobody could really see coming or knew was there, was how good people's mental health was to go through this shit. So I thought, wouldn't it be fun, because pandemics are fun, to, if we're all suffering through something and we're all going through something, find a new life coach in cinema and television. So that's what we're going to debate for you. We're going to find which movie characters and television characters would make the perfect life coach to get you back on track after a year and a half of bullshit. So before we get into that, I'll start off our weekly watch list with, this is a story, actually. It's me and Aaron last week tried to go see The Green Knight, and we bought tickets and super stoked because Ian had said it was a really great watch. It was a slow burn, bring a coffee. I was like, sweet, we're going to go into some weird world. It's Arthurian, all that jazz. We get there, 7:25 rolls around, and the movie still hasn't started yet. Like, not even the bullshit credits have started yet. And we're like, what's going on? Then finally, about 10 minutes later, the bullshit credits start, the trivia starts, and then people start walking in. And then this family walks over to us, and they're like, I think you're in our seats. I'm like, no. And Aaron shows his tickets on his phone. He's like, we're here for these seats. And then she's like, oh, they did this again. So she just walks away. I immediately turn into an asshole, and I'm like, if she comes back, we're not fucking moving. Like, I turned into a 9-year-old child to Aaron. Like, this is my seat. So many seats here. Then she comes back again with the employee, like the 12-year-old, and he's like, can I see your tickets? And we show him, and he's like, this is so weird. And I'm like, why is it weird? There's tons of room. I'm sure if we can find a place for everybody to sit, right? I made a snarky comment. And then he's like, let me see it one more time. And I'm like, fuck, like, just leave it alone, man. Seat him somewhere else. And then he looks and he's like, this is Suicide Squad, not Green Knight.
Oh my God.
Oh, man.
Now, here's where the plot thickens, gentlemen, is I immediately go into, I'm so sorry. So sorry. I'm such an asshole for my childish remark. But we had the same tickets for the same theater in the same seats for the same time, but it was a glitch. Suicide Squad was always playing. Somehow, Aaron hacked into the Cineplex server and decided to pick whatever movie he wanted to see that night, and decided I'm just going to buy tickets for it. And we're going to show up, and nobody's going to have to fucking say anything about it. So we got up, we walked out, and I go into I'm fucking embarrassed, and I'm loud, and I need to say something to break the ice, because at this point people, like, it's still light and people are watching what's going on. So I stand up and I was like, I haven't been to a movie in 18 months. Leave me the fuck alone.
Did you really?
Yeah, oh, totally. And everyone starts clapping and laughing, and another couple was like, we did the same thing. Are you okay? And I'm like, we're fine. We'll be fine. So we go out. And this is the reason I want to tell the story, is because Parker at Cinema City McGilvery in Winnipeg is one of the best fucking general managers of a movie theater I've ever seen. The guy instantly went into apology mode, and we were just laughing. We thought we were fucking idiots. We didn't care, right? I was like, there's nothing else we want to see. Let's just go for a drink. But their minions, their 12-year-olds, were like, hang on, just wait. The boss will be back. So Parker comes back, gives me and Aaron each 3 free tickets to any movie we want. Any movie, doesn't matter. No blackout, IMAX, any time of the day. He says anywhere across the city, any of their theaters we can go to. And like just stood there for like 10 minutes being like, man, I've had theaters break. Bulbs are out. I was like, Parker, we're going to come back. Okay, dude, like you're the shit. Like you've made this right. You can stop apologizing. It's funny. Like we were just laughing that we were being dicks, and we're like, we're not fucking moving. I'm not gonna fucking get out of this seat for this lady. She has to move. We don't move.
Were you traumatized for Lord of the Rings? The Hobbit movies?
This happened to me and Martin, where we picked seats and then people moved our jackets when we came back to them.
Oh no.
Really?
You're just getting snacks from the vendor. That was it.
Oh, come on.
They moved our jackets.
So from the vendor within the theater sort of thing?
Yeah.
Or within the actual like auditorium?
100%.
Oh man.
They bogarted our seats, moved our jackets, and then me, Martin was the cooler head. I was the one who was like, let's fucking go, buddy. Like, I'm like, give me back my fucking seat. And then I was like, okay, never mind. Keep the seats. We don't care. Where are our jackets? Where did you take our things and move them that didn't belong to you, that are now somewhere else that I don't know where where's my wallet? Where's my cell phone? Where's my car keys? Like I was like, go fucking get it. So we got this 16-year-old nerd to walk all the way down the other end of the row.
It would have been a fun fight to see. It would have been just a nerd fight. Like it would have just been like you're gassing out at 10 seconds, you know.
Michael and a 16-year-old. I think the law wouldn't favor you in that regard.
So all in all, the point of my story is that I really tried to see a movie this week that we hadn't seen at all. And this is what happened. So we ended up at the Canadian Brew House on McGilvery, which was very crazy because it was the first time I'd been in a place where like nobody, not even the staff, were wearing masks. So it was a little bit of a trip.
Oh, even the staff. Wow.
Yeah, no, they weren't. Which, I mean, whatever. Like things are changing. Whatever. Like, I just want to give a shout out to Parker. And because I said to him, I was like, we have a podcast. It doesn't, it's a small local thing. But like, dude, you need to know that you did super well. And you made the whole situation better, and we're obviously going to come back, and it's no skin off your back whatsoever. Like, just it's dead and buried with free passes, sir. But so I didn't get to see anything new. I did watch the first bit of What If though, the second episode with Chadwick Boseman and T'Challa. I've only seen the first like 12 minutes of it, but my God, is it good?
Did you hear it? Seem like it's all original voices.
Yeah,
in that episode, which is amazing.
Yeah, that one is. Yeah.
And I mean, like, obviously, you couldn't get Cap to come back for the first one. I don't even. There was an article that said why he didn't come back, but I'm sure it was just contractual obligation.
Well, their contracts are done.
Okay, so that's what it was.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, Chadwick Boseman, like that opening fight sequence where it's like, oh, Star-Lord, I'm so impressed by you. Should I use the gun? Should I not use the gun? Like, it was
yeah,
smart writing, and it having this like narration from Jeffrey Wright talking about how he's the Watcher and these are his stories. Like, it's just so much fucking fun. So I can't wait to finish that. But have you guys seen the second episode of What If yet?
Oh,
Twice.
Yeah.
I have
yeah,
not.
me too.
Yep.
All right. So, does it end well? Because I can't wait to go back to it. And we don't want to kill it for Dean here.
It's incredibly well written. As a writer myself, I'm like, this is brilliant. Very good writing. Very tight. Very snappy. Very funny. Chadwick is like hilarious, which I'm like, I didn't even see that coming.
It's such a it's such a what's the word I'm looking for? It's melancholy. right? It's kind of it's a stab in the heart, but at the same time, it's like from the dead comes the one that we miss and love and wish was still here, and that was fun to hear too, because you're like, oh, this is never the guy that we even saw in anything else. Like he had some comedy chops when he did the James Brown biopic, but like I don't think he really showed a funny side in anything we'd seen him in.
Yeah.
I don't know, Martin, what are your thoughts on it?
No, good episode, really well written. I like Jimmy's comment in the chat. Marvel movies only need to be 30 minutes. Is what you learned from What If. What If.
It's fantastic.
It's good. Like for 30 minutes, a really compact episode. They go through a lot. They go through what you need to know in the story of what's different, and they spin it and make it their own. And the voice overs are amazing. The animation's really good. So I no complaints with What If.
Does anybody know who's doing the animation on it?
Off the top of my head, no.
Like anybody? I mean, it's obviously Disney, but like if it's a name or anybody, because it's almost art. Like it's a different kind of animation, not
like an Art Deco style to it or something.
Right. It's I don't know. It's not. I'm by no means an art buff. Banksy's my artist. That should tell you something. But just watching it is fun, and the movements and the story. Yeah. So that's what I got this week, guys. I tried to go see a new movie and I got shot in the face with 3 new ones. I can go anytime thanks to Parker. So that's my time. Martin, what about you? What'd you watch this week? Tell me you watched something that.
I did. I watched 4 things actually, 4 movies. I told you about this in our chat group, but like on Amazon Prime, they just released all the like rebuild of Evangelion movies. So Evangelion was a series in the 80s or 90s, I can't remember. 90s, I think. It was an anime, originally ran for I think 20 something episodes and had an ending movie. But what they did starting 2000, and I think it's 2007, they started releasing the movies. And each movie is like a certain amount of episodes within it. So I mean, if you have it, they reanimated it. The animation looks really cool. Compared to something that's done in the 90s to today, like it holds up. It's really well done. And they condensed the entire series into 4 movies. The 4th movie just got released this year, actually. It was just released on Amazon Prime exclusively just a few weeks ago. And just to give you a bit of a difference of how long I've been waiting for this 4th movie, the 3rd movie came out in 2012, and the 4th movie just came out this year. So
Wow.
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Jesus Christ, it takes a long time.
Yeah. If you've never seen the Evangelion, it's basically like the plot is, there's these big monsters they call angels. They're trying to destroy the world, and humanity develops these things called Evangelion, which are like kind of biological mecha giant robot suits. So it's like if you liked, what's that Guillermo del Toro movie that with
Pacific
the big
Rim.
Pacific Rim. If you like that, a Pacific Rim, like they draw a lot of that from Evangelion, so you'll love Evangelion in terms of that. But it's cool. It's a very smart TV show. Like when I saw it in high school, I was like, I didn't get it. But even as an adult, I've had to watch it a few times just to get a lot of the references, because he has a lot of references to religion, from Judeo-Christian to like Japan's. I can't remember what the exact religion is. It's like with spirits and demons and stuff like that in the old Japanese folklore.
Oh, cool.
And also he puts in there's a lot of elements of depression, because the guy who created it had like crippling depression before he started writing Evangelion. So he puts a lot of that into the story as well. So really well done. 4 movies, about 2 hours each. If you've never seen it, check it out. It's awesome.
And it's on Amazon Prime, right?
Yep.
Writing it down.
Yeah, that's high on my list to check out. I've been trying to check out some anime lately. I never watched any shows or really any movies before, so I've been trying to dip my toe into it, and that is one of them that gets highly recommended to me often.
Yeah, it legit changed an entire culture. Like it brought back the anime boom in Japan. Just that when it came out in the 90s, the original series. So
Awesome.
Yeah. Check it out.
So what is it like if you were to say this is kind of what it's like? Like, is there anything else out there that it falls in the same?
So I'll say Pacific Rim. What are the good things you loved about Pacific Rim? That's what it does well. What are the bad things you did about Pacific Rim? That's what it does better.
Okay.
So imagine Pacific Rim if it was a complete movie with great story, really smart writing, great dialogue, and great acting. Then that's what it would be. I would recommend watching the Japanese voices and do the subtitles if you can. Just they sound better. English is like it's in terms of like an English, dub kind of thing. It's not bad, but I would like the original Japanese is the way to go.
What else do you watch?
Just What If. That's it.
You said you watched 4 movies. Was that
Oh,
those 4
there's
movies?
4 movies. Yeah, there's 4
Okay.
movies.
Oh, nice.
So there's,
Well, that's a lot of
so each
content.
movie is about 2 hours. Yeah, but just start with the
awesome.
first one. Start with the first one, and then watch it later if you like it. Check the second one out, third one, fourth one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, there's 4 movies. They really released the entire series into 4 movies.
Did you
They're about 2 hours each.
Did you punch out and turn on Evangelion every day? Punch out, turn on Evangelion.
That's pretty much all I did. Got the weed, watched Evangelion. That was it. That was my week basically.
Wonderful.
After work.
Are there any known actors? Not that it matters, but is there anybody whose voice that is...
Not the English. No, it's not very. It's just I don't think they use anyone. It wasn't like the Studio Ghibli ones where they had like Christian Bale doing voices.
Yeah.
Things like that. But this one
Yeah.
I don't think it needs that voice. You just watch it. It's the writing on its own is great. The story.
I will. He's built up my list, Dean, so much with anime. Like Martin is our fantasy sci-fi anime guy, like, and deep, not just like skimming the pages, but he'll pull stuff from all over the map. So he builds my list, gets me across the anime ocean. That Martin, he does.
You got to share that list with me, man. So far, I've just got to Miyazaki. I've watched all of his directed movies, but which are all incredible. But yeah, I'm looking for a list.
Yeah, we'll get you and Martin out on a date. Anime.
Oh, nice, awesome.
Anime date.
I love dates.
I bet you Dean buys flowers though.
Oh fuck!
Oh yeah. I'll buy flowers for sure.
He'll know if I did my hair. He'll know when I got a haircut. He'll notice.
Is that a new hat? Is that a new hat you're wearing?
it's actually an old hat, but I just washed it. So
Okay.
Guys, you want to know something? You know what's old hat? This fucking joke.
Well played.
Thank you. You set me up, Sean. I just had to... Took me 2.5 years to abuse Martin on the podcast before I didn't realize.
We even abused him on my show. It was like
a little bit.
That's true, man. That's
What's
true.
going on?
All right, Sean.
But I fought for you. I've been watching a crap ton of stuff. I rewatched all of Loki. I rewatched all of Agent Carter, like the first season. I watched the first episode of Invincible.
Ooh, what did you think?
Okay.
It's good. And I own the comics. I was slow to getting to the show because I don't know. I was just leery, I guess. But no, it's good. It's well played. So on to episode 2 tomorrow.
Okay.
But I have watched a movie in theaters. We actually watched 2 movies.
Which one?
So we saw Black Widow opening weekend. That was our first time in a theater, obviously. And then we saw Free Guy last weekend.
Okay.
Is that the Ryan Reynolds movie?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay. You were very vocal about that on the social media. I saw your post about it. So I want to know about it because you know what? I keep hearing the same thing that you said, and I think it needs to be talked about because it's taking a genre and telling a different story in it that normally isn't something that the people who go to that genre give a fuck about.
I'll be honest, it wasn't my choice. I wanted to go see Suicide Squad really bad. And Sylvie's like, we're not seeing another fucking DC movie, is what she said. Pardon the swearing, but she does not like the DC films. Like she says, they're too dark, they're too depressing. Like, laugh a little, would you? That's kind of her opinion. So she said no to Suicide Squad. She said, we're seeing Ryan Reynolds. We're going to laugh. He's a Canadian boy. Let's put the money to the Canadian boy. Like, okay, fine. We'll go see it. Didn't want to see it. And I was just completely blown away. It looks like a throwaway type of film. Another movie about video games made by people who don't know anything about video games. That was my impression that it might be. And I was completely wrong. It's so meta. It's talking about video games on multiple levels, from a creator level, from a gamer level, from the trolls that play the games. It's a big political take on trolls. It's all about trolls and how horrible they are, but it's also about video game companies ripping people off all the time. And it's so broad a film. It looks like it's just a simple, stupid comedy. Just like a silly throwaway comedy that, people, they film for 20 days and then they're done. No, it's not at all. It's brilliant, intelligent, layered, and the universe, the world building is just sick. It's really good. Yeah.
what's the narrative on it? Because I read an article that was talking about how, which was really interesting, and this is what I thought was neat, was that using this video game based movie to talk about how background characters don't really matter in video games, because we all know that, right? Like if you've played any open world, then you know that you're just running by people. You can interact with everybody, but they're in the background. They're just there so that it doesn't feel weird and look stupid. But this story talks about how a background character is just as important as somebody who's in the foreground.
Oh yeah, on multiple levels, not just within the game, but outside of the game. Because it's about, I mean, the basic plot is someone invents a game that's phenomenal. A company decides to buy it, Taika Waititi's company. And they say, you know what? No, we changed our mind. We're not going to buy it. But they offer a deal to the programmers and they hire one of them. And then what they do is they use all the code from the game and take credit for it and don't share the credit.
Asshole.
Yeah, that's it. Taika Waititi, what an asshole. He plays a good asshole in this film. Yeah, and it's just about the little person just getting fucked over all the time. But you know, the NPC can actually, you know, be bigger than the hero of the.
And for those who don't know what NPC stands for,
non-player character.
Which for those who haven't played video games is the person you're not using to blow up everybody else on the screen.
But there's also commentary there on the hot games like Grand Theft Auto, and kind of not taking an active shot at them, but kind of saying that the video games now it's more about, hey, let's go, you know, go shoot a hooker or whatever. Like that's the way the games are nowadays. It's about being violent, stealing. And they're like, but you know what? There's that really pretty game on the shelf next to this one. Oops. This is an awesome game. Like, why don't you give this a chance? Why are you just going to where the money is? Like, why go to Rockstar Games? There's a very beautiful, elegant game that's an indie game. Why don't you go try that out? Like, there's a whole commentary about that in there too. It's great.
I like that. No, I really do like that. Let's pause for a second because you got a really good thought there. Dean, do video game movies excite you?
Yeah, I do get excited by video game movies. And for some reason, this movie, when I saw the trailer, I don't know, what was it, like 3 years ago now when the first trailer came out for this movie, I just didn't care at all for it. And even now when the trailer plays on TV, I don't care at all. And that's interesting that you say it's so deep, and it's like, oh, don't look at this indie game on the shelf. That's how I feel about this movie. I'm just like, I don't care about this movie. Like, whatever. I'll just go see. I'll go see a Marvel movie. That's going to be doing what this is doing better.
The ads are very misrepresentative of what it is. I think they're really trying to tack into, oh, we want to get the video gamers in here, and we want, like, they just want to turn the quick buck in the ads, but the movie is way better than that.
Yeah, that's good to hear, because I do like video games or video game movies. So I would really like to check it out.
In terms of video games movie, I actually made a rating of the best video game movies, based on games or about video games. And for me, number one's Wreck-It Ralph. It can't be top for me because it's just genius.
Awesome.
This is right below.
Wow. Very nice.
Yeah.
Wreck-It Ralph is awesome too.
It's genius. Yeah, it's pure genius. This is, I mean, maybe I'm just kind of all starry-eyed from seeing it in the theaters.
Where does this fall in place in comparison to The Wizard?
You
Fun.
mean the Wizard from the 80s?
Yeah.
Oh my
Great question.
God.
California.
Oh man. Yeah. No, the Wizard is still tops, I guess. I don't know.
Okay, here's a question. Here's a hot take. Scott Pilgrim's a video game movie.
Boy.
It does have video game references, but I don't think it's a video game.
I'd say it's below this one though.
Okay. All right.
I love Scott Pilgrim, but
yeah.
Low.
In its of its own, but yeah, but you see the quarters and you see the video game fighting style, like the Tekken World Combat stuff, and you're like, okay, are they trying to be? But yeah,
this has more heart than Scott Pilgrim. It's a bit smarter too.
Okay. Here's something. But actually, we'll ask Martin because I don't want to. This is me buying flowers. What do you think about video game movies, Martin? I don't want to forget about them.
I don't know. I just sometimes I can't remember except for Wreck-It Ralph. It's very few that I've liked. Like even when they try to do like a video like Resident Evil series, I wasn't a huge fan of that.
Mm.
They didn't stick to the originals. They had a great original story, but they decided to branch out on their own and do their own thing, which I wasn't a huge fan of. But I mean, I same feeling that Sean had with this movie. It was kind of like a throwaway. Like when I first saw the trailer, you know, I was like, maybe I'll watch it when it comes out on a streaming service or something.
Yeah.
Like that. But now that you mention it, and it's something more than what it's portrayed in the original trailer, I want to check it out.
Yeah, and there's big, huge moments in there that, like, I haven't been to a movie in like a year and a half, right? So seeing this, the audience multiple times applauded.
Wow.
And I'm like, what? Like, and
Awesome.
there was moments in the movie where people went, holy shit. Like, I'm like, yeah, this is like, I don't know. It was awesome. And they had the Marvel was way like totally behind this film in promotion and everything. Like they're totally on board with it. So I won't say more than that, but there's a lot of Easter eggs in this film, you know,
Nice.
from everything. Like it's awesome.
Does Canadian Darling RR have anything like could this have been as great a movie with somebody else because it's such a great story and a script, or
no, I think it needed Ryan Reynolds and his production company to get made, because if it didn't, this would have been a shit movie because they would have gone with studio choices. No, we don't need that. Who's going to understand that? Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. Because he was involved, I think the story actually came across. I don't think it would have with a lighter weight star in it.
yeah,
And to be honest, Ryan Reynolds really isn't the star of the film.
really
He's like, there's like two main characters, and then he's like kind of the third. But he's in a lot of scenes, but he's not important.
Oh,
He's integral to the plot, but he's not a real character either. So
It's like an NPC to me.
yeah, exactly, right. Yeah. True, but it's true.
that's
But there's a lot of places in the film with a different actor, or if Ryan Reynolds had no power, where they would have said, okay, Ryan, I need you to kiss the girl, and you guys are gonna, you know, we need a romance here, or we need this here. Oh, we have to have a pratfall gag here. Like there's a lot of stuff a studio would have forced on, but Ryan Reynolds like, nope, the story is good. We're not changing a thing. Like, so I think he had a lot of producer power in this film, and that's why it works, because, you know, he put his name on it.
yeah. You see that. I like that happening lately. Whenever you see the above the line as an exec or an EP, you know that they're more involved than just being handed a script and being like, say your lines, right? Like they're helping craft the story. So I feel better when I'm like, okay, if this is how Ryan Reynolds wants to make a movie, then if this is what they're doing, which it seems that they're following as close as they can on the Deadpool series and letting him write the script with everybody, then I think that is it's a big selling feature. How many NPCs out of 10 would you give it?
Out of 10.
10?
No, that's no. I wouldn't even put it lower than that. It's a great film. It's so good, I'm actually like contemplating seeing it again.
I'll go see it with you.
Theaters.
Passes.
Yeah, there you go. But really, like for independent creators like ourselves doing podcasts and stuff, it's kind of an important film to me. It's important about, hey, they're an independent game producer. They made a game, they got fucked over. It, like, I don't know. It's integral to what we do as podcasters. Like it's one of those like little gal movies. Like, you know,
the Goliath to your David or Dana, right? Like you're okay. That's I'm in, and I like everybody who was at my birthday like just was like go back to the movie. So I got tons of gift certificates for my birthday present. So I think I'm good till December to not pay for a movie.
that's awesome.
Awesome.
So, anyways, well,
But the theater experience is good though. Like, have you all been to a theater then?
yeah.
I have, yes.
Dean, what did you think? Like, what was the experience for you? Like, was it good? Were you nervous? Were you anxiety, or were you like, this is cool?
I was really, really excited. I did have a little bit of anxiety because I still have a little bit of anxiety sort of getting back into the world, but everything was handled like really well there. And I saw 2 movies in one day. I saw Old and I saw F9, and it was fantastic to get back into the theater. It was just like, I've been waiting for that. I mean, we all have been waiting for it for a year and a half, and it was a great day.
Good. Yeah, same here.
I concur with you, gentlemen. It's seamless. It feels like everything like it used to be. Like nothing really has been taken away to keep you safer. Just capacity, right? I think that
I felt safer at the theater than I do at Safeway, to be honest.
For sure.
I completely agree with you.
Yeah. Martin, what's it like have you been to a movie yet then?
Not yet.
I'm just curious what it's like in your province compared to ours, if regulations are different.
I think it's still the same. Like we're pretty close in terms of like how we're rolling out, everything. But starting September 1st, we're gonna be good on all that. Like it's just gonna be basically everything is optional. If you want to wear a mask at an establishment, it's all optional.
Okay.
Right now it's optional for customers, but like a lot of businesses still use the mask for their employees. But I think after September 1st, that'll be the interesting date to see. Like that's when things are supposed to kind of go back to normal.
Sorry for jumping in there and taking over your show.
No, dude,
I do it on mine all the time.
Do it. It's fine. I don't give a fuck. There's no golden microphone here, Sean. Trust me.
But I'll probably see a movie this week because I have a day off on Thursday, so I think I'm gonna catch a matinee. I think I might watch that that movie that you just saw.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I'm excited. That sounds like one of the movies that we need, right? Like anything that's been missed in the movie theaters, that shared experience of the same idea, right? Like you can't really walk away from something like Free Guy and be like, I didn't get that out of this. Well, how did you get that, right? Like it's pretty easy to digest. So hearing that you were saying that people were clapping and cheering and applauding, like that's sharing air in a room or something like that's fucking awesome. That means the theater experience is still there.
Yeah.
It just got put on the shelf for a minute. When we were talking to Dean about this week, I was happy to hear that Dean wasn't going to go down the usual rabbit hole of TV and film, because he was like, can we talk about something on YouTube? I was like, if you can watch it, we can talk about it. So, Dean, first time I get to ask you this, what the fuck did you watch, buddy?
Buddy, I've been binging a YouTube show called the Movie Trivia Schmoedown.
Oh, I know about this.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, excellent. I'm so glad you know about it. I love it. Have you watched episodes?
Okay. I only know about it because the guy who does it was on Fat Man Beyond with Kevin Smith talking about it, and Kevin did an episode of it. And
okay. Yeah. Kevin Smith is a competitor in the league.
Yes. Okay. That's the only reason I know about it. Sean, how do you know about it?
I'm just familiar with the Schmoedown from, isn't that from Collider or something?
Yeah.
Schnepp? Isn't that from John Schnepp? Isn't that a John Schnepp thing?
Yeah, it was one of the people on it.
Yeah, John Schnepp's one of my favorite people that do what we do. I know he's not around anymore, right? He passed away, but that's how I know it from.
Awesome. Yeah, it was basically a YouTube show and a podcast called Schmoes Know Movies. And I guess at the end of one of their episodes, they wanted to settle a dispute between their two interns of who knows movies better. So, because I guess they kept going at it all the time of who knew more about movies. So they just came up with this trivia game, and it went over really well. So then they just started playing it between different competitors at the end of every show. And then they ended up having a tournament, and then they made it its own show because people just loved it. But they kind of injected a lot of wrestling type stuff. So everyone's a character, everyone's wearing costumes.
Yeah, because they have titles and stuff. Yeah.
There's belts, there's titles, there's different divisions, there's grudges, there's retirement matches. They just throw it all in there. It's all it's the theatrics mixed with really good movie trivia. And I love trivia. I love any kind of trivia game, and movie trivia would be my favorite of that. And I also grew up on wrestling. So I just love the theatrics. To get into it, I used to sort of skip the beginning interviews and the post game interviews and just watch the trivia part, because that's how I didn't really get the characters. I didn't get how you can mix that with playing trivia. But then once you watch them and you start to see these two competitors that hate each other for some reason, I'm like, well, now I want to watch all their matches together, and I want to watch their interviews before, and I want to watch their interviews after. Now I'm just totally hooked. Our episodes are an hour long. They come out with 3 to 5 episodes a week, and I watch them all.
Wow.
Jeez.
I just saved it here. I just subscribed.
Awesome. It's so good. I love it. I actually they have sort of like a developmental league, they call it, and I've actually tried out for it before. I have never gotten a call back, but I have sent in audition tapes.
Awesome. You've sent in audition tapes. Okay.
What's the audition process like?
It so far it was just send us a 1 to 2 minute tape of what your character would be. Doesn't really have to be movie, like they don't even test your trivia knowledge at that point. They probably test your trivia knowledge after that. But the first thing is just like, what's your character going to be?
That's cool.
What was your character?
Are you allowed to say it without spoiling it?
No, yeah, it's fine. I'm never going to be on that show. They're never gonna pick me up. That seems to be a lot of people they know that are getting selected. But I'm not very like antagonistic. I don't like to pick on people or be mean to them. So I wanted to come up with something fun that I hadn't seen on there before. So I sent in a tape. I kind of have done sleight of hand tricks in the past. And so I sent in a tape of me revealing answers to movie trivia with my deck of cards and just saying that it's the deck that knows, that's the deck that's trying out, it's the deck that's the player, and I'm just the handler.
I saw a video of that.
Yeah. I had a video actually on Instagram. It was my follow-up video because I didn't hear back anything from the first video. So I poked him again, and then they sent out a tweet and said, everybody stop sending us videos. We got your audition tape. And I felt like that was directed right at me.
I made it on the radar in the worst possible.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, I love this show. I would love to get on there someday, but it's a really unique game that has different rounds. It's like round 1, 2, 3. Title matches are 5 rounds. They have 5 different style rounds with different point values, different types of questions. It's so fun. It's so much fun.
What's the level of like knowledge? Like, are you because I'm already, wheels are spinning. I'm like, can you make a 4-man team? Because if it's going to be anybody, it's going to be these 4 right here. Like
they have a teams division, and it's a 2-person team. And yeah, it's I play every Tuesday night. I play with 4 of my buddies. Sometimes we get a 5th in, and we play along with the show. We do the trivia and try to play along with the show and answer the questions, and it's so much fun.
Oh, how do I get in that group?
Hey man, you can join. You can get in the group if you want.
That's
I will send you the invite. Anyone who wants in is in. We're looking for more people.
After the show, Dean, can you just send what you recommended on YouTube on the group chat that we have?
You bet.
I'm gonna add it to my watch list. I'm gonna start checking it out. I've never seen it, so I'm interested right now.
Yeah, and I will say the in-person matches are so much better. Like over the pandemic, they've adjusted and they do it over Zoom, and they have the 4 screens and they're asking questions. It's really hard to get that sort of wrestling, I hate you, let's like do this trivia vibe over Zoom. So they've just started to get back in person. They rent out just like a bar, and they've just started to get competitors in there, and those matches have such better energy to them. There's just so much more in the body language of everyone when they're not just sitting in a chair answering questions, when they're standing and they're trying to be in the other person's face. Yeah, live matches are just so much better.
What's the level of trivia like? Because I mean, everybody here, like I have the Blockbuster game, which is pretty intense.
Same.
Good man. The pirate sees a pirate, and I without tooting my own horn here, I mean, I can fare on a lot of like generic trivia games.
Sorry,
like,
I have to ask before we continue with that thought. Is the Blockbuster game like only movies from like 2001 onward? Like, is that because it closed down?
No, the speed rounds allow you to go as far back as cinema history. Like when you have to go word association and come up with movies on the fly to start the turn. Like you can pull from anything. It's not necessarily like, it's pretty generic stuff. They'll be like movies with dogs in them. Well, fuck, take it back.
Anything throughout history with a dog.
Right. Yeah. So like there's a lot there, but and that's why I'm saying it's more generic with the Blockbuster game. How deep do these guys go? Like, are we going Trivial Pursuit Adult Edition, dumb fucking shit that nobody knows except Ken Jennings? Or like, are we going like, where's the level of knowledge at?
Sometimes. So there's different rounds. So there's different point values for questions. At the end of in the final round, you get a 5-point question. It's the biggest valued question in the entire game, and those questions are very hard to get. You just kind of have to get lucky and get a movie that you know very well. I would say the knowledge is very high. The people who hold the belts, the people who are the best at it, are incredible. They know so much more than I know, and I would say I'm decent at movie trivia. I would probably fare in the bottom half of the league if I played. The developmental league is a little softer. There's softer questions. I could compete in that.
I think I'm glad you mentioned it, man, because I remember hearing about it and I was like, okay, I want to follow up on that because movie trivia, right? Like trivia in general is fucking fun. So the fact that you've outdone yourself already, man, and it's only the top half of the show. Well done. Martin, do you fare well at trivia?
Yeah, because I have a lot of stupid, useless facts in my head that no one needs to know. So I'm like a jack of all trades when it comes to trivia. I don't specialize in one category. I just I'll just draw from things I've heard, and yeah.
Sean, can you go to like the King's Head on a Tuesday and do trivia?
As long as it's a comic trivia night, I'm the winner. But outside of that, I don't know how good I am at the trivia. But the comic stuff I drop all the time.
John, they have a geek league.
Oh.
A whole league just geek questions. You could do that one.
I could do that one.
Yeah. The way it works is that you could be a specialist in something and still win because of how like the rounds are laid out. Like the second round has a wheel and it has different slices on the wheel that are different genres or different specific directors. One of them's comic book movies. And if you spin your thing, you then get 4 questions from that one category. But if you spin something you have no idea about, you're screwed.
Okay. I'm going to be watching this thing because I want to see how it works. I really want to see how it works. It sounds really cool. And I've heard about it for years. I used to listen to the Collider podcast for years.
Awesome.
We talk about it. So that's kind of exciting.
I love when this shit happens. I'm the only one who can't offer anything new to watch because I went to the wrong movie theater.
You offered a great story.
You did offer a really good story.
Yeah.
Let's and then we went for shitty pierogies after. Like the pierogies were probably the size of a quarter. I'm like, that's not a pierogi. I don't even know what that is, but that's not a pierogi where I come from. And I'm fat, so I know what a pierogi is.
Yeah, that's weird. That's a small pierogi.
Martin, mark that down. Anyways, we're done, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we watched this week. Hopefully you watch it. I know I walked away. Everybody walk away with something new to watch?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right. I think I'm gonna. I feel if I watch this show and I don't do well at it, I don't want to do our show again. So hard. Like, what am I even thinking? So I'm just gonna I'll slowly step towards the Schmoedown. But Kevin Smith was so fucking excited about being on it, and I think he got Star Wars questions. I think he was talking. They made room and under like an underhand. Ooh. And made it so that he do because it's Kevin Smith. But I was like, these guys, and they talked about how it was wrestling and how they love wrestling and movies.
Yeah.
And together and like they do the promos like they do in wrestling too. Is that something?
Yeah, they do promos. They have storylines. The only thing is you can't actually fix the trivia match. Like you don't know who's going to come out a winner. So I think every character sort of has what they're going to do if they win and what they're going to do if they lose. Kevin Smith actually was on a really long winning streak, and he finally lost, and he just started to go after the commissioner, who's the guy who asks the questions. And so I think they're going to have like a commissioner versus Kevin Smith match coming up pretty soon, because he just started to blame him for not accepting his answers, and it was great. It was fantastic. He was really like Kevin Smith was really playing along, which was fun to watch.
Awesome. All right, well, let's move on. Let's do what we came here to do, which is debate. That needs a track behind it.
At my signal, unleash hell.
Push it. Don't push it. I'll give you a war you won't believe.
Goldstein, give me a fat beat to beat my buddy's ass.
I know what kind of guy you are. I never would have agreed to work with you.
Are you gonna bark all day, little doggy? Or are you gonna bite? What was that?
Sorry, I didn't catch you. Would you repeat it? Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the debate portion of the show. If this is your first time, this is what we said at the top of the show, where we're going to argue who we think, what movie or TV show character would make the best life coach. And the parameters were pretty simple. Martin, I think we were just like, who would make a really great life coach, which I had to Google what a life coach actually does. I just see them on Instagram all the time, but I was like, who the fuck are these people offering advice? It's easy to say you're a life coach, but I actually learned a thing or two. But so we just wanted the qualities, like how they would benefit maybe you or the life coach position, right? That was one of the rules.
Mhm.
And
I totally did not do that. Once again, did not read the rules and just wrote my own script for whatever I think is a life coach.
I did. Oh, yeah. Yep.
Well, as always, that always happens. But that's the best part. It's a pitch. It's never supposed to be fucking. It's your interpretation, sir. So who fucking cares if you didn't follow the rules? And it essentially just encompass why they would do a good job at it, what qualities that they bring to the life coach profession, and maybe one or two things that they could fix in your life. Like if you were looking to change a thing or two, how they might influence you and, use them for a couple months and then be like, fuck, why did I call this person? So without further ado, I will go first. This one's this one's going to come with a lot of heat, I think, but we'll see how well I can get through it. I picked from David Fincher's Fight Club. I picked Tyler Durden, which actually, after reading about it, I picked Edward Norton, I guess, but I picked Brad Pitt's Tyler Durden, so that's where I'm standing, is that character. Because if you've read the book, they are essentially all the same things. But anyways, what I liked about Mr. Durden, Mr. No Give a Fuck, I loved his honesty, and in researching what life coaches do, their number one role is to be direct with you and to let you know where your faults are and where to kind of change the things that you want to change, and let you know about things that you're good at. His honesty is actually insulting, and I don't do well with a spoon-fed compliment. I need someone to give me a little bit of a backhand across the face to get my attention. So just his insulting nature, not to the point where he's pissing in the soup per se, but like, just the fact that he pulls no punches, so to speak, pun not intended, I guess. And if you're not getting real with me, then I don't think I can change a lot of things. The second quality that I picked, he believes in pushing oneself to the edge to find their greatest potential. Granted, yes, it comes in the form of a beating. Okay, it's in the bottom of a bar. It's maybe not the most hygienic place, but he still believes in challenging yourself to finding out where you need to work. Side note, I believe in the idea that I want to punch you as hard as you can. I really thought that was a great part of the show, because it wasn't so much about being punched as it was about finding about who you were on the other side of it. So one punch only is all I want. Like if he wants to hit me, I'm totally fine with it. But when you use this as an example, or even the acid soap scene, do you remember when he pours the acid on his hand and does it to Edward Norton, and then he's arguing why you should do it, and he's pushing him to the worst part of his own pain to come out on the other side of that pain, because he lifts his hand and shows I did the same thing, which at that point is great, because that's a really great way of David Fincher saying these two guys are still separate characters, right? If they each have a scar, then that's besides the point. My next point, this one's for you, Martin. He fucks. He fucks.
Why is that for me?
The only reason I started saying that guy fucks is because Martin started saying it, and I love the fucking line. So I was like, I'm going to incorporate this. I'm going to write a love letter directly to Martin on this one. But what I mean is by why he fucks is he's confident, and that comes with Marla Singer, pun intended. Now, I don't need a lesson in finding a woman. I have one. She's great. I've checked that box. But what I am saying, though, is that his bravado and his manliness, like walking to the door and opening up the door and looking at Edward Norton butt naked with rubber gloves on, that's confidence, right? And if you're not feeling really great at a point in your life, you need someone who can confidently build you back up. So that's why that example's there. He also believes in a Zen-like state of mind. He's not about his possessions. Specifically, you are not your fucking car keys. You were, or khakis, depending on if you're from Boston or not. But his whole idea is about releasing oneself from their possessions and what defines them, right? Not being a brand whore. And I'm a super fucking brand whore. I love shit with names on it. I don't like no name stuff. I was the guy who was like, I can't wait to get a set of Apple iPhone earbuds because they tell the world that you can afford an Apple product. How fucking pathetic is that? But see, the other, but like,
chill.
So I feel that he would be great at, for me, detaching myself from my worldly possessions because they don't really matter.
We can detach you from your worldly possessions. That's no problem.
I'll take that lightsaber. You know, if you want to get rid of that lightsaber, I'll take it.
My last 2 points here. Our sessions would be called Project Redefine, by the way. I was like, how do we come up with a title for what I'm going to go through here? My last 2 points, a couple of the things, health and what I think other people think of me. So I care what other people think of me sometimes. It is my downfall. As being a Leo, I don't work for me. I work for you, right? Like whatever I do makes you feel better. So out of all the things I would want to fix, I would want to give less fucks. Don't sweat the small stuff, right? Wait till you piss someone off instead of always trying to avoid it. And that comes in his style, his home, and his ideas. He just does not give a fuck, right? He lives in a rundown house. His style is very Value Village. Even though it's what makes him a great character, he's got a shirt that's like almost a midriff, right? Like he's not giving a fuck. So I feel that comes across as a great quality to show somebody like, don't care about people until maybe you have to. Lastly, on a health level, I can only imagine as a personal trainer, outside of fucking people up, no one walks around with a stomach like that by accident. And me and my 4 cheeseburgers would probably go away. So having maybe a chance to get to spar with him, roll on the ground, do some fighting, what have you. I feel that as a health aspect to my personal life coach is important for me because I would wonder what I'd look like with a 6-pack. It'd be kind of fun. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of my debate. I now give the floor to Martin Navarro. Feel free to cross-reference, sir.
I'll start. Just 2 points. So confidence, I love that. I think that's one thing Tyler Durden definitely has, and that's something that's essential for a life coach. You don't want someone who's unsure, and I think probably one of the most confident people on the list we have today is Tyler Durden. My other point, I think with Tyler, you don't want a life coach. I think you want a cult leader. Because it does get super culty at the end, you know? And I think there's a fine line between life coach and cult leader, and I think Tyler Durden definitely crosses over to cult leader more than life coach.
Oh, God.
That's all I had to say.
Isn't that kind of how life coach, that's probably how cult leaders start. Like they start as like, I want to make people feel better. And then they're like, I have 30 people to make feel better. And now I'm in Waco and now they're drinking Kool-Aid. Like I think that's kind of the progression. You get a client list to a cult.
Well, not necessarily. Well, the life coach usually doesn't fuck everybody in the cult, you know, doesn't fuck its clients. And that's what cult leaders usually end up doing. That's why they start a cult, because they just want to fuck everybody else.
Am I a life coach or am I a cult leader? Well, I'm not fucking my staff. I'm a life coach.
What is a life coach but a person who does not fuck his clients, like a cult leader doesn't fuck his congregation?
Okay, what do they say though? Like you're totally right about the cult leader fact. It just completely skipped my mind, but they're like, his name was Robert Paulson.
Oh yeah.
They all like really say the same thing. His name was Robert Paulson. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I agree. I would probably let this guy walk me off the edge of a cliff without questioning when I think about how they got everybody.
You would drink the Kool-Aid.
I would drink the Kool-Aid. I would stand there and watch the world burn at the end, holding Marla's hand, wondering how the fuck I got here. Sean, you're next, buddy. Feel free to face as hard as you can.
Well, I feel like you're being a little bit Allison Mack about all this. How you're just kind of obsessively following a very pretty man with a 6-pack, and you just want to give us some cheeseburgers. I don't know. I think you're just in love with Brad Pitt, and I don't think you're getting any coaching. I think you're just, I could look that good. I don't know. Too Allison Mack for me.
Okay, fair enough. That's Nixium. Yeah, I'll give it. I just need a brand. Not to make fun of that, because that was a fucked up thing.
You guys ever watch Seinfeld? Has everyone watched Seinfeld here?
Yeah.
Remember when George falls in love with Elaine's boyfriend, who's like the macho guy sports dude, Tony or whatever? That's what I think Mike would be with this situation. He would follow Brad Pitt around with what you just said. He would follow Brad Pitt around with his hat, like, oh, this guy's so cool. I love being around him. And yeah, I think that would just be you'll be part of his entourage, basically.
Like, you're letting the guy punch you in the face. I mean, come on, man. Oh, he can hit me.
Yeah, well,
I don't know. That's not life coach. That's just.
To Mike's defense, he did say one punch in the face.
One punch.
Oh, he did say one.
I want you to hit me as hard as you can. I get the scene. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, walking this out of the screen and trying to do this in real life, be arrested by fucking lunchtime. But like, it just in applying the things. But I remember being so enthralled by that character, and I think it was because that was the first. I was crazy about that character when I saw the movie, but then when I read the book and went back to the movie, I was like, okay, now I'm a huge Chuck Palahniuk fan, so that the thing that David Fincher did for Tyler Durden was just solidified by reading the book after and creating more of a character. And I've like, what do? Do I give you the ass or the crotch? Like, the writing is so smart and the delivery is so great on the plane. Like those little cocky things, and I've been waiting to use this character for something, and I was like, all right, fuck it, let's see how this walks down the street with this idea.
Mike, there's more choices than just ass and crotch. You can get the eyes, you can get the mouth, you can get the hands, but that's why I love you, because you just want ass and crotch.
Man, I'm black or white. One zeros. All right, Dean. You're up, buddy. Feel free to eviscerate the shit out of me. Agree with me, because I the only time I seem to get a vote is with a new person. So if you do your will.
Yeah, I like the pick because I do think that Brad Pitt's Tyler Durden was a life coach for I guess Edward Norton's Tyler Durden.
Jack is who he would be if it was the
right. Yes. Yeah, so I like the pick. I do like the pick, but I think you're going to be disappointed the first time your life coach shows up and you're expecting Brad Pitt's abs and it is Edward Norton. Like, I'm just trying to figure out the logistics here. Isn't it Edward Norton who is your life coach?
Yeah, okay. If back then, yes, I do end up with an Edward Norton in a suit with, nothing left but with Marla. Yeah, okay. Yeah, technically, yes. Carry on.
Okay. I think that he, I don't think he's a great life coach. I think he is going to try to maybe destroy your life. Like, I think Tyler Durden was fighting so hard so that he could take over, so that he could stay alive in that body. I'm not sure he cares about you. I think you're going to have shaved your head. You're going to be saying Robert Paulson is his name. Like, you're just going to be a minion for him. You're going to be blowing up buildings, rolling huge, giant art sculptures into Starbucks. That's what your life is going to be like.
I went into this thinking that I would experience some change, and I came out of it with a very short leash and a directive.
Just join Scientology.
Yeah, it's a lot longer to get to that point.
Or play with BDSM a little bit more. I don't know.
Yeah, no, the love, and I mean, I was younger too, right? So the love of that character comes from a younger mind that I have.
Great character, still a great character.
Oh yeah,
probably one of the best ever written, right? So great character.
Yeah, great film, great everything. That film is like tops.
Read the book. If you ever get, I have it. I'll mail it to any of you. Like, just get a chance if you haven't, read the book, because it's not one of those things where like Stanley Kubrick went and fucked The Shining and Stephen King was like, how dare you? Like, that was a blatant change of everything. But there's just so much back and forth between Jack and Tyler that you're like, wow, imagine if this was in the movie, imagine if this was in the movie. And it lets you play with now going, okay, if it was in the movie, it would have been done by Brad Pitt. That's so insane. And the only time they really pay attention to Jack is when Jack is reading I Am Jack's Raging Bladder, when he's reading those books and Brad Pitt's riding around on the bicycle in the house. Anyways. All right, cool. I dig it. I'm going to pay you next time, Dean. These things. I'm just kidding. All right. Up next, Martin, did I say it was you? Yeah, I said it was you. Martin Navarro, you are next, sir. So you have.
Okay. I'm going to open up because Mike didn't define it, but I'm going to open up with the definition of a life coach. A person who counsels and encourages clients on matters having to do with career or personal challenges.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Right? That is the definition of a life coach. And I picked for my choice Michael Caine's portrayal of Alfred Pennyworth, the butler to Batman. And I just want to start with this, debaters. Famous butlers on TV, you know, Alfred Pennyworth, Jeffrey from Fresh Prince, Lynn Belvedere. What do they have in common? When the family needs advice, they all go to them, right?
Yeah.
So I want to pose this argument to you. What is a life coach but a butler who doesn't clean? Right?
He's got a point. He's got a point.
Right?
That's amazing.
So,
you're right. It totally fits.
He just doesn't clean your clothes. You know, it doesn't do your laundry. Just that's all. It just gives you advice. Great advice. So imagine this. So I picked Alfred Pennyworth, like I said. So imagine this, debaters, if you will. It's the end of the third Christopher Nolan Batman movie. Bruce Wayne has retired as the Cape Crusader. Alfred still has a good chunk of that Wayne Enterprises money. Lots of free time on his hands. So what does he decide to do? He decides to open a not-for-profit named A. Penny for Your Thoughts, an affordable life coaching for families in need. So some of the things that you learn about Alfred Pennyworth, he's got some sort of military background. You don't really know what, but you know it's there. And so if your life is in need of physical fitness regime or something more structured, I think that military background has you covered. Also been known to do basic medical triage on Batman. So if you get hurt, it's like having your own personal medic as well. He'll probably introduce you to, if you need to, introduce you to healthy living in terms of lifestyle and diet. Because, I mean, you know, he always makes those green shakes for Bruce Wayne every morning when he gets up before he does push-ups. And you know, Bruce Wayne, that version of Batman was definitely a health nut. And I think he would have tracked every single calorie he put into his body. And the last thing I want to say about Michael Caine, Michael Caine's Alfred Pennyworth, he's got a British accent. And I think there's something about that accent that just makes me want to listen. It's very comforting and it's very intelligent sounding. And I think when you hear that, it's like you hear that this guy knows what he's talking about. And that's my argument.
All right, so I'm going to give this one over to Sean first because I need a minute to find a wrong thing with that. So if you could go, that would be great.
Great.
Yeah, you too?
I guess, you know, with Alfred behind you, anybody could become Batman, really, because Bruce Wayne probably wouldn't have done dick all without Alfred. I mean, Alfred, you know, got him to the dance. Bruce Wayne wouldn't have got to the dance. He probably would have been shot on the first time out. Actually, he was shot on the first time out, and Alfred had to patch him up. I don't know if I can give an argument against.
Is it, Dean, you can't give him an ace. It'll be the first time in 2.5 years.
Look, if Alfred was the one that had looked after Dick Grayson to get him to the level of Robin, maybe he wouldn't have died. You know what I'm saying? Like, or not that Dick Grayson died, but the second Robin died. But maybe
Jason Todd.
Yeah. So maybe with Alfred there guiding Jason Todd would have fared better. Like I'm trying to remember those comics now, but I mean, Michael Caine just adds a whole other level of elegance, and you believe in anything he says. He could read the phone book and you're like, yeah, I do believe that ad that you read from the phone book. Like, you'd believe it, you know.
He's got a lot of out the box thinking too, like especially in the second Batman movie when he was trying to find the Joker. What did we do? We just burnt down the forest. And it's like, that's fucking brilliant. That's how you catch this guy. Burn down the forest.
Yeah, no, I'm still thinking, Sean, keep going.
Sorry, I wanted to say too, so the commercial.
Oh, you're done. You can't say anything else.
Can I just say the commercial would be endorsed by Bruce Wayne and Chief Commissioner Gordon, Jim Gordon.
Of course. The two of them stand there being like, you know what? I have a history.
Yeah.
If we endorse this business.
I can't come up with any negatives. That's, damn it.
I think this is going to happen.
Dean, do you have anything?
All right, the best I got. Yeah. Batman's my best friend, so obviously Alfred, his mentor, is a perfect pick. But maybe Alfred will get a little too emotionally involved. He will think that you are his new Bruce Wayne, and he is your father figure. And he might get just a little bit too into it, a little too emotionally involved. There's times in the movies when he quits on Bruce and he says, I'm out. There's times in the third movie where he says, you're retired, you should get back in the game, it makes you happy. He's kind of torn with his feelings towards what he thinks is the best direction for Bruce. So I think maybe he might get a little too emotionally involved.
But I can still be Batman, right? If he gets
I mean, you can still, for sure, you can still be Batman, but I'm not sure that's the best choice for your life coach to direct you towards being a vigilante.
Yeah.
Like, if this is you wanting to be Batman, is this what this is? You just want to be Batman?
I was thinking of my comedy career, and I was like, okay, who has the reins to pull me in? Because I like being a comedian. One of the things I've learned from being a comedian is like, don't say no to anything. Always say, like, there's exceptions to that rule, but always say yes, because you don't know what an experience will bring you. Is it going to bring you a new joke? That, like, a lot of my jokes come from that, by not saying no and just experiencing something, and that's how I come up with new material. So that's what, like, I think if I needed someone to rail me in like the crazy times, I think Alfred would have that power to do that for me. So
okay, I got one thing, and it's not in the weeds, but right where the fish like to hide. It's okay, so Alfred finds Bruce at a very young age and shepherds him. It's a Sherpa, gets him up the mountain, gets him to the end zone, right? Like, there's no denying that. And not to, like, piggyback Dean's too much, where Dean's saying that he's too emotionally involved. I'm saying maybe his aim is off, because he allowed Bruce to get so far out there to begin with. So maybe being too close to the situation doesn't allow him to see the forest for the trees that he says you should burn down. So not that he's can't cut ties or cut the cord with you when it comes time to let you go back to the world, but almost might misjudge it and allow you to become Batman. Like, allowing a 12-year-old to become Batman is the only thing I can find here. And I know that's weak, but, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's like, well, this is a good idea because I'm in control of it, but, you know, he's maybe risking too much of your well-being in this. That's it. Everything else is fine. Fuck you.
I don't need to be. I'm just being Batman was just a joke. Like, I don't need to be Batman. I just wanted to coach my own. And also, I just wanted to bring up the point too. Like, it's not just for me. He's doing this. It's like a charity, right? Not for profit. So it's going to be affordable life coaching for families in need. Is what he's going to be providing.
That's cool. That's just another reason why I can't stand your debate.
Also, Mike, I'm in my 30s. I'm no longer. We're the same age. Why'd you say a 12-year-old becomes Batman? I'm not 12. I know I look 12, but
I was using Alfred. I was using Alfred and Bruce in that scenario. I wasn't using you. No, you're not 12.
I'm just kidding.
I'm just like, his previous experience is allowing a 12-year-old boy to become a vigilante. So I'm just going, okay, what's he going to do with a full-grown adult and allow them to do?
Well, he didn't become Batman until he was in his probably 20s, 30s. Like, he doesn't.
You know what I mean? Like, when he gets shot and he's a child, he loses his parents, and because Alfred's responsible for him from a very young age, if I'm not mistaken. He doesn't become Batman until his 20s, but anyways,
he makes the oath. He makes the oath as a child.
Yes, there it is, right? So, but I know when a horse is being beaten to death. Fair enough. We are at the halfway point, ladies and gentlemen. So, to take us into the third and almost final lap of this show, I'm going to hand this over to Sean Mcginity. Go, sir.
I'm going to go with Happy Harry Hard-On from the Pump Up the Volume movie, and I'm specifically pointing out Happy Harry Hard-On and not the Christian Slater character, but his actual, like, on-air personality. And the reason why is because when he starts up his podcast, for lack of a better word, because
that's what it is.
He invented the podcast, if it boils down to it. He's got all these people listening, all these losers, all these people that don't have any self-esteem, all these potential criminals, like all these people that are just like the dregs of society that just aren't cool enough, pretty enough, smart enough, whatever. And I mean, he empowers a whole freaking town to love themselves and shoot for the moon for themselves and to, talk to that girl that you have a crush on that you might not be able to. Like, he even convinces himself kind of indirectly to go talk to Nora and like, find your voice. He's always about finding your voice. So, I mean, and if you're not listening to any good music, he can give you some good music to pump you up, like for whatever. Like, just his advice is always good. Better music, believe in yourself, shoot for the moon, stick it to the man, and fight for yourself. I mean, what more can be said? Now, that's my argument.
Fate, I'm gonna pay, Zero.
Does he not like break the law in the third act? Does he not go rogue and then they're chasing after him?
Yeah. But he does this time.
I have to pin something on you because we can't let Martin get away. Really, I'm just like at this point, I'm just fucking face. No,
no, he does, but he's fighting for his values, because what they're doing, what the school's doing, and all the illegal activity that the school is finding a loophole around. I mean, he's fighting for the students of the school that are, some are being abused by their parents or by by whatever, right? Like,
yeah.
So he broke the law for a good purpose, and he got arrested for it. But when they do a Pump Up the Volume sequel, then he's out of jail. But anyway, that's all I got.
Did they didn't do a sequel, did they?
No.
Okay, can you imagine if they did one now though?
That would be awesome.
Like, if somebody wrote a good enough script to get Pump Up the Volume back at his age, where he comes out of hiding and everybody from his youth, like he comes back in the area,
and then they focus on podcasters, right? Like, they kind of flip it around to pirate radio to pirate podcasting,
flip it around to everything,
because there's a lot of pirate podcasters out there, if you think about it, like people that are pushing the envelope like he was doing in the film, right? So, and he does say it was his favorite movie he's ever done. It was the most important movie he's ever done.
It's a cool movie. It stretches, it lasts forever. Like, it's Christian Slater at his coolest. I think that's why. I think it's one of those things where it was like, this is just cool. I guess the only point that I was making with the arrest thing is he's quick to light on fire and just
yeah.
Like, he wants to burn it down. We've got the Burma thief from Batman wanting to burn it all down, and that's my only thing, is that he might have not such sage advice when it comes to like quick hot-headedness is my point.
True.
In regards to him and what he's doing, it works very fucking well, right? That's why the movie's so great. It's like anti-establishment, and like it's very Tyler Durden, just you're not being hit. So in that's my only point, is just
you just hurt your own argument there, because at least Happy Harry's not punching people in the face.
I didn't mean to bring that back up. Shit, to get your head.
He punches you emotionally, not physically.
Yes, he does. Yeah.
There you go. I have broken jaw. He has broken feelings. So yeah, hot-headedness is my only point on that. Martin, what about you?
Just want to say, love Christian Slater. So Pump Up the Volume, like Leave Me the Cube, like that era of Christian Slater is some of my favorite movies that he's done. So I love that era. So really excited when you pick this. My only argument against would be like you said, like he's pirate radio, right? Rebel radio. I don't know if Life Coach would be in the cards for him per se, because like it might be too structured for him. He seems like a very fly by the seat of his pants kind of guy, very spontaneous. So it might be too much for him to focus on one person, because a life coach has to be pretty much available to that person all the time, right? Basically, that's what it is. But I mean, I think he's the best pick in terms of podcasting coach. That's a great argument for you. He's probably the best.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And like, hang on here. We didn't define life coach in any way, shape, or form.
No.
Like, life coach is just kind of, I think, the umbrella that you put it all under, right? They're doing something in your life and coaching you through it. And I think me and Sean, because we see all the emails, and probably Dean does too. I should send you all the shit I get, Martin. I just delete it now, but like, see the crap that comes from podcast coaches out there.
God.
It is the most disgusting, slimy,
like podcast coach people selling themselves to kind of
oh yeah
for your podcast.
Yeah. It's really,
you know what? That's why Christian Slater comes back, to go against the fake podcast
Yeah.
coaches and clean out,
Sean, write that script.
Okay, I'm writing it.
No, that's totally a great idea for that, because it has the what was going on at the time was something in his life that he was trying to coach all these people through. So I totally see that. Like, he's the voice of the people, and to be a voice of the people means you could be a voice of one or two people, right? Or three or four people, depending on a classroom setting or a one-on-one environment. So those things totally fucking work. But yeah, Dean, what do you feel?
I love this one. I like the idea that your life coach is just, a voice you listen to on the radio. But I guess that is also maybe the only negative maybe I can say is that if it is his radio personality, then are we listening to the advice over a podcast? Are we listening over a radio? Because you lose something a bit without the face-to-face and without the contact. I think you would lose something from your life coach just having to listen. Like, can I talk back to him? Is there a way that, or am I just listening to advice? That would be my only point.
Because in the movie, he gets letters, right? That's how he answers, and a lot of his content comes from letters.
He does call people back, right?
Yeah.
If you leave your number, I'll give you a call.
Like, he's a Frasier style life coach.
Yeah.
Like the radio,
like a radio psychologist.
How come you didn't pick Frasier?
Yeah.
Nobody picks it.
That's pretty good.
That's not a bad pick. But
That's a good pick.
Wow.
I love Kelsey Grammer too.
Right? Oh my God.
That's a great pick.
Jesus Christ, this is me not winning, because everyone.
My original pick was Pauly Shore from Encino Man. I'm glad I changed.
Oh, the Weasel.
The Weasel.
Oh my God! All right, we're all okay. Yeah, we've all taken a stab at him. I think you can't kill the man and make him die of 1,000 cuts. So
good pick.
It's a solid pick. They're all solid picks in their own way, unless you really don't like cults. But whatever.
And you haven't got to mine yet.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know where we're going, but we're going.
Could be bad.
We got one eye to do it. So why don't you take us away, Dean, and tell us, who did you pick?
Okay. I've got a lot of stuff here. I've got a lot of reasons why my pick is a life coach, and a lot of reasons how he can personally help me in my life. So feel free to just chime in whenever you want, because if I get through all this might take a while. My life coach is Jack Burton from Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah.
And I desperately need a life coach. If anything has taught me over this year and a half, it's that I need a life coach. So I've been thinking about the traits, the traits that I would want. And I want someone who has life experience. I don't want someone who's just telling me what to do, and I don't really think they've even done it for themselves. I want someone who has been there. Maybe you could say I want a reasonable guy who perhaps has experienced some very unreasonable things. Jack Burton experienced a lot of unreasonable things. He's seen it all. I'm not saying he's been everywhere and he's done everything, but he has seen it all. I think that his experience to it, I would not think he's faking. I would not think he's a phony. I would listen to this guy because he's got the experience. So that's one of the traits I'd want. I'd also want someone with self-confidence. We talked about this one already. It might be misplaced self-confidence for Jack Burton, honestly, but he's got it. He's got the confidence. And if I can see it in him, then I will believe that I can have that self-confidence too. I'm actually drinking out a mug right now with a quote of his. Everybody relax, I'm here. So that right there, that's a line he says in the movie. Everybody relax, I'm here. This guy has so much confidence. I also have another mug that says it's all in the reflexes. Just another brag of his. He's got confidence. Last trait, I don't want my life coach to be my crutch. So I don't want to just completely depend on them. I want them to help me along, but maybe they don't necessarily have to be there. And if you've seen Big Trouble in Little China, I don't think Jack Burton actually has to be there. I don't think he helps at all. I think they could do just fine without him bumbling and fumbling with his knife and his gun and not turning the safety off. But for some reason, when he's there, they all have this power. They all feel great and they all defeat Lo Pan for the first time. So that's what I want my life coach. When they're around, I have a good day. I'm feeling great. I don't need them there. So that's the traits. That's the traits I want. So now, There's many moments in my life that I can pull from where Jack, good old Jack, could help me out.
Dean, I'm gonna. The only reason I'm gonna do this to you is because I don't want you. So pick two.
Pick two.
Yeah,
pick two. Okay.
Pick two.
I have three.
Okay, so go. Okay, do three then if you have three.
Okay, I'll be quick. Dating life. I'm happily married now, but I wasn't great at the dating. I tended to come on very strong. There's, like you go on a date and you have this horrible story of a horrible date. I'm that for 5 women. I'm the horrible story for at least 5 different women. Jack obviously loves women. But he doesn't even kiss Gracie at the end. He plays it cool. They ask him if he wants to kiss her and he says no. That's what I needed. I came on so strong. I needed to say no a couple times. So I need him for dating advice. I need him for career advice. Career and passion. I'm talking about podcasting. And because I'm constantly worrying about, downloads. I already talked to Sean about this before the show started. I'm always thinking like, oh, if an episode didn't do well, should I cut that content out? Like, do I even need to talk about that anymore? But like, I loved doing it. So maybe I should do it. Maybe I shouldn't care about it. And Jack, I don't know if you remember, but Jack had a podcast from the Pork Chop Express at the beginning of the movie. And he says one very important thing. He says, I'm talking to whoever's listening out there. He doesn't give a shit who's listening. He doesn't give a shit who he's talking to. He's just doing it because he loves it. He doesn't care what the numbers are. He is just doing it. Okay, last one. Sorry, last one here.
Don't be sorry. I just don't want to lose.
The last one has to do with looking out for numero uno, because this is something Jack definitely does. And I feel like I'm a pretty nice guy looking out for other people, but maybe I need to look out for myself because I can benefit from it financially. So I like to play poker with the boys, and sometimes those games go pretty late. There's drinking, and it's 3 a.m, 4 a.m, and someone wants to make some ridiculous bet. They want to do something to win their money back, and I'm like, nah, it's okay. Let's just pack it in for the night. Let's not waste our money. Jack stays up drinking all night with one of his friends he hasn't seen in forever, and in the morning, with all these beers around him, his friend says, I bet you over $2,000 I can cut a bottle in half with a knife. And Jack lets him do it because he knows that'll be a financial gain for him. So I think maybe I need to take some advice from Jack when it comes to looking out for myself, because I can maybe rob my friends. I could take money away from them when they're super drunk.
That's awesome, dude.
Oh. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah, you go first.
Yeah. Okay. There's that, and that was good. That was also good. And you did that with that thing. And I was like, oh, I'll argue that, but now I can't because you did that as well too. All right.
Come at me.
Come at me, bro. I haven't seen it since I was a kid, but I do remember.
Dude, what's wrong with you? You got to watch that.
What is wrong with you?
That's like a once-a-year movie.
Yeah.
It is. I came into Carpenter late. I wasn't at the party early. Everybody was gone. It was cool to talk to, including Carpenter. So like, I respect it. Kurt Russell's action, non-action, whatever he did in Hollywood for that amount of time lives with me forever. Like Overboard will always be one of my favorite Kurt Russell movies because it's an action star in his prime switching to romantic comedy. Like, and he nails it as much as you can argue. But I'm reviewing his career, not this. I think just how he didn't need to be there. He might insert himself into your personal life in ways that he doesn't boundaries is what I'm trying to say. I think that might be the only thing that I can go down on. He's ballsy. He's got that. He's got a commanding presence that you just feel safer when he's there. And he's almost so unaware of how stupid it is that he ended up there, but he knows how to find his way out. That is great. But at the same time, you might find yourself like in a situation you don't want to be in that might not be, he might push you to take your friend's house is all I'm saying. So that's my only concern, is that just his self-awareness, his understanding of how he ended up in Chinatown and how he ended up doing all of this he's just a loathsome truck driver. If he had 2 cents, he would have been like, I'm taking a right when I should be taking when I'm taking a left. So otherwise, dude, like 10 out of 10, you get it. You know it. Like we salute you. Well done. So know that you aced that part of it. I just don't know if I can give you my vote yet. Martin, shut me up.
First off, love Jack Burton. Big Trouble. I saw Big Trouble in Little China. My dad and I watched it when I was a kid, so it's one of those movies that just I'm in love with. It's my favorite Carpenter movie, even though there's so many good ones. One thing about Jack Burton, I feel like he'd give good advice, but also try to fuck his clients' spouses. That's what, I just get that vibe from Jack. Like he's that alpha male, right? He wants that. He's that commanding presence.
Yeah.
And I think when he didn't kiss Gracie, I think he did that because so I think the reason he didn't kiss Gracie is because she started to want him. Jack is more in love with the chase. He definitely gave all the attention when she was very kind of standoffish, but then when she starts to be like, I like Jack Burton, he's like, oh, well, maybe this isn't for me anymore. You know, a little bit.
Yeah, he's like, I'm over it. I'm over it now. Yeah.
And I love the character of Jack Burton because it just reminds me of like people in my family. I feel like he's the uncle that your parents are a little sketch of leaving you alone with. Like he won't touch you or anything, but he'll probably take you to the racetrack and you'll probably start smoking because of him.
Yeah, he'll give you a cigarette for sure.
Yeah, he's that uncle that'll give you a taste of beer. You know, he's like, shut up and have some vodka. You'll be fine. But uncle, I'm 6. Whatever. Anyways, and the last point, just a funny point that I just wanted to bring out. So like Michael, maybe what you want isn't a life coach because you want to rob your friends. So maybe what you want is a kingpin or a mob boss instead. Is what you need in your life.
That's what I'm looking for. Yes, of course.
Help me break bad, not be good and better.
You need your Walter White.
Yeah, true.
Anyways, that's all I have. The good stuff, though. That was a very entertaining argument.
It totally was, dude. Like, yeah, I fucking well done. Sean, eviscerate the man.
You can't trust Jack Burton. He's out for himself. Your wife's in danger, right? For starters. He's probably going to take your kids to the track to go bet on ponies. He's going to buy arms at your house. Well, I wasn't going to do it at my house. I might get in trouble. He's going to do everything wrong and use you as the scapegoat to get what he wants. He's not looking out for you. He's looking out for him. He's his own life coach, not yours. Done.
Excellent.
I felt the emotion in that one.
I felt it.
Yeah, it was there. It was there.
Great.
But love Jack Burton.
Yeah, you can't not love. You love all the characters. They may just need to stay on the fucking other side of the screen. Oh, my face hurts. Let's vote this shit out so we can get to know our guests. So
wait. First, you're gonna watch Big Trouble with Big Trouble in Little China.
Oh,
right after this.
Yeah, right after.
I thought you were gonna say Big Lebowski.
Sure.
That also works.
I'm watching The Angel Show. I'm watching the Shlomo.
Oh yeah.
Movie Trivia Schmoedown.
Schmoedown. Thank you. So considering we are all on the lovely program of Zoom, it all goes to the window. So we have figured out a patent way to do this, Dean, where you just type into the chat group and then we all hit enter.
Perfect.
Ooh,
the Zoom chat group, not the
Zoom chat group. Yes,
the other one, the Zoom one.
Okay, so open up the chat, and then
Mike will count down, and we all hit enter.
Exactly.
Wait. So in the Zoom chat group?
Zoom chat group. Exactly the place to put it.
Chat.
Dean, so this is where you...
nice. Sweet. Good idea. I like this.
I'm sure you know, but like collect your thoughts. See who gave the best presentation to the class.
So are we voting on the person, like as in the 4 of us, or the person who is the actual life coach?
Well, I thought it would be fun to be like, okay, which one of them would you vote for the best one? So we'll do who won out of us. Then I thought, who would you want out of the other ones? Like if you had to pick out of, so like if you really wanted a life coach tomorrow morning, would you take Jack? Would you take Happy Harry Hardon? Would you take Martin? Sorry, I'm getting hungry.
Alfred Pennyworth.
Alfred Pennyworth, or would you take Tyler Durden? Like, so let's vote for who gave the best presentation first. So Martin, me, Sean, or Dean, and then we'll vote for who would you pick?
Wait. Who gave the best? Wait. So we're voting on best presentation and then in 2 separate votes here, right?
2 separate votes here.
Okay. So the first vote is best presentation.
Best presentation. So you're going to vote out of me, Martin.
Okay, gotcha.
So
I'm ready.
You ready? Okay. I gotta give me a second here. I'm gonna look at you fuckers. Make up my mind based on it's like a poker table. I'm trying to see if Dean's
bluffing. Poker faces.
I'm always bluffing.
Okay. All right. I have mine in. Everybody have theirs in?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. We got Sean. We've got Martin. We've got Dean. And we've got Dean. Dean wins it, ladies and gentlemen.
Woohoo!
So well done, sir. You've done the best out of the bullshit. You're the best bullshitter of the day, so to speak.
Excellent. That's all I can ask for.
No, right? There's no T-shirt. There's no cup. There's no hats. It's just there's a guest spot on the wall here in the studio that we give how many times the guest has won. So you're in the guest column. So out of all the guests, it's all of you guys versus us separately, right?
Awesome.
Yeah, it works like that.
So Dean, can you be my life coach?
Definitely, man.
All right. Cue the music, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. So this is the one we're going to vote for out of everybody. What character would you actually want to be yours? So type in your answer. Bing, bada, boom. And you guys all ready?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
3, 2, 1. Alfred. Jack Burton. Alfred. Martin, you win for best life coach, buddy.
Hooray! Thanks, guys.
Gotta be Alfred. Come on.
Totally has to be fucking Alfred.
He's British.
He's British. That's all you need.
Yeah.
You had me at hello, motherfucker. You had me right at what is a life coach if a butler that doesn't do your clothes? Like you're that I was like, I know where this is going, and I just want Alfred in my life now.
Oh, so I have a question though. If it wasn't Michael Caine's Pennyworth, sorry about that. If it was the original '89 Batman, oh boy, sorry about that.
A little choked up there, guys.
I don't know what happened there. If it was Michael Gow from the '89 Batman, would everyone have voted for Alfred?
No.
My second choice was Jeremy Irons.
Jeremy Irons is
well.
more of the badass Alfred, where Michael Caine is more of the loving Alfred. I feel like
yeah, true.
Irons had that vest on with all his tools in it, and Michael Caine was never out of a suit, right? Like he was always proper. He would roll up his sleeves, like he was regal, right? Where Irons was more like, I feel British SAS. like that might have been where that Alfred came from, where the other Alfred was like in the Royal Canadian Air Regiment or something, right? Like some fabled Air Force squadron or some crazy shit. Because he can fly, right? Alfred can fly. He's got his pilot.
True.
So, but all right, cool. So, Dean, me and all of us, everybody in Winnipeg in the podcast community knows of you guys' show of the brothers, and we kind of want to get some backstory on that. Like, how did you, like, I came into podcasting as a rogue dude who didn't get into school and was like, all right, I'll do this anyway. That was my journey. And Sean's been doing this, like, same thing, I think, pretty much just him and his brother wanting to talk and shoot the shit about the stuff that they like. So how did you decide to pick up a microphone and be like, I'm going to talk to the world? Well,
I've been podcasting for maybe 5 years now. I blogged on I was a writer on a comic blog called Nothing But Comics, and it was just some friends from sort of around, they're mostly around the United States, that were fans of a website, a comic website, and that website kind of shut down. So we just all kind of started up our own. So I was a writer on there, and we decided to start up a podcast. So I was on that show for about 80 episodes. Then that kind of winded down, but I kept going with one of the hosts there and did a podcast actually about Batman. It was called Through the Ages. And we just like walked through all the Batman comics from like 1939 all the way up to now. And yeah, so I was loving that. But then we got to the end of 50 episodes of that, talking about Batman, and we just kind of winded that one down. And we had Tim, my brother, on the show as a guest a couple times. And he was fantastic. And he just kind of caught the bug after being a guest on the show. And he was like, I want to start up a podcast. I just want to talk about whatever I want to talk about. And I used to go over to his house and we'd have beers and we'd talk about movies. We'd talk about comics and video games. And he's like, let's do that. He's like, if your show is winding down, let's start up a podcast and we'll just do what we do every week when we talk about whatever we want to talk about that week. And yeah, and we'll do the podcast. So that's how it kind of started. We kind of go week to week. We don't really have a schedule of what we're going to put out. We do keep it like basically how we used to just get together, where like on Monday or something, he'll say, hey, let's talk about this week. And then by Friday, we're doing the podcast. So it's really been, it's been a fun thing to be a part of. It's far more episodes than any of the other shows I had been on in the past. And it's probably one of my favorite podcasting experiences for sure that I've had, doing it with just getting to talk about this stuff with my brother. He's 8 years older than me. So we try to have a little brother, older brother dynamic. I get on his nerves all the time. He hates me often. But it's fun.
That's awesome.
That's a funny origin story, because I think that's a lot of podcast origin story. Like me and Michael had the same kind of origin story. We're just like, with our two other friends, we're just like, hey, we talk about movies on a Friday night, we drink whiskey, why don't we just record it? I think there's a lot of funny moments in this, and I think that's a great origin story too. I love it.
I think out of all of us having done this for now, it's how the most fun happens when you do it. Like you were mentioning, like with your life coach, like how many downloads you get. Like we all care, and it's like there's a reason you're doing it, right? Because eventually it could turn into something else and it could get bigger, and attention is what drives this, right? Like the more attention you get on your project or whatever you're creating, the more people see it, then the more sponsored dollars or free swag or whatever you're doing it for, or just attention, just adoration, right? Like the fact that you're building a community and people are listening to it, and that's really awesome, and then a lot of fun. But like, don't give a shit. You guys are cool. Like, your show's great. You talk about great stuff.
Thanks, man.
Dynamic comes through for sure.
I do like the shots. I don't know, the shots you take at each other. Like there's this sort of well, Dean, well, like there's this weird comedic timing that seems off a pace, but it makes it funnier. Like I don't know how to describe it, but like there's a really good cadence to the language back and forth. That's really good. It's
he's often telling me to settle down because I get too excited about things. So he's like, settle down. He's very much the older brother, where what he says goes, and I'm just there for fun.
Yeah.
I'm just there because like Dad told him that I had to be on the podcast.
Yeah.
Is that kind of how the name came? Because talking back, like you're talking back to him, or he's talking at you. Like, is that?
He wanted to call it actually talking shit for a while, just because he wanted just to be like, whatever, we're going to talk about whatever. But then he sort of came up with talking back, because I think most of the stuff we're going to cover is, sort of a retro nature. We don't really say we're only 80s, 90s or anything, because we cover lots of stuff. We cover things from the 2000s to 2010s all the time. But I think that's maybe why Talking Back came up. He came up with the name, so we might have to ask him why exactly he came up with Talking Back.
Network.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. We are part of a network. We're part of the Blast from Our Past network. So I guess it makes sense that we talk about some old stuff.
Yeah,
that's cool. So how does a network work? Like we're fucking, we do what we do. So if someone was like, hey, you want to be part of a network, we'd definitely say, hey, let's talk. But so how does a network, like, do you guys network together, or is it like a radio network where it's just the name is literally a network of stations or a network of podcasts?
Yeah, it's really just kind of for support. It's a group of us that are under a group of shows that are under the same network name. We do a lot of guesting on each other's shows. So I think that's sort of like we've made that a priority, that we'll guest on each other's shows within the network. We really just, sometimes we do like sort of crossover events or something like that, or we'll say like, okay, this week everyone do a James Cameron movie or something like that. But we don't do a lot of that. It's more, our shows are more kind of just their own thing, but it's just the support. It's just to have the support of a team where if you run into something or you come up with an idea, you can share it with this this group of people that is all kind of in it together.
Oh, that's really fucking cool.
Dude, we have like the podium.
Yeah. No, I know.
Which is kind of the same thing. We never put a name behind it, honestly.
We did only because we were all hosting on the same site, which we have refused to change the name since we've been bought and like it's just out of spite to be like, no, you can't take the name of our chat group away. But yeah, no, we do have that, and that's we troubleshoot each other. Sean,
we're on each other's shows all the time.
Yeah, like totally. I've been on Beaver's have been on here. Sean's been on mine. I've been on his. None of us have been on Sam's because I'm not a musician. Like I don't have any musical talent to offer.
You know how hard it is to book Sam? It's pretty difficult.
It's impossible, but that's fine. He does what 3-4 episodes a week plus being a parent, like, and have a job. Like I don't know what he's drinking.
And he's trying to get into concert booking again.
Oh my goodness! Like that man's just doing a. That's a free
wife.
That reminded me of the string. Oh my god, that was freaky. So like with your whole podcasting adventure, like what's one of the most, because me and Sean have talked about this with each other, and I'm always curious what everybody else is going through with growing pains and stuff like this with doing something like that. So what was one of the most surprising things you found about podcasting that you loved and absolutely fucking loathe?
So I don't love editing. I'll start with what I don't like, and I don't like editing podcasts. I did it on my other shows, and so I didn't really want to do that anymore. I didn't really want to do editing for a podcast. That's one of the things that kind of holds me back to be on a podcast. And Tim said he'd take care of all the editing, so he edits everything. I don't have to do anything. So I'm happy for this show that I don't have to edit a single thing because I hate it.
What is it? Because I think that's the one thing that we all had to learn, or that you have to learn, is where to cut, where to chop, what seems right, and you're doing it from a I know nothing level. Like you're doing it.
Yeah,
from,
exactly. Yeah.
So do I cut here? Who do I ask if cutting here is right? Who else would say that cutting here is wrong? And I think that's what editing is just a learned skill that eventually it either sticks. Because I fucking hated learning it. It made me anxious. It made me feel weird. And I still we don't edit the shit out of this show at all. And I don't think most of us do. Like there's the really big way to edit it. And then there's the, you can just do whatever you want. But I get it. And I think Sean probably understands it too.
Dean, what's it like to not have anxiety?
Great. It's great. I don't even bring any notes to the show. Tim just wants me to show up and talk. So it's actually great. I just watch a movie and I show up.
You're the Todd of your show. The man who hates homework. Oh man. Well, I like that. See, I was impressed that Martin's actually like taking notes. Like, jealous.
It's one of those small things that we decided that if we did need to edit, would make Mike's job a lot easier. And
it's
cast,
huge.
Like we have a big cast, right? So anything that we can do to help make the production easier for Mike, we do it. And it's not a huge thing either.
It's what these guys help with is monumental when they happen. It's just all the little things that like left brain, right brain just becomes too much, right? So like you're in a thing and you're enjoying a thing, you don't want to be watching that thing from a bird's eye view. So that's what Martin does. Or that's what Mark does, right? So it's just lifting the weight and making your portion of it less. Because I just go in now, and after Martin's like Mark, and I'm like, cool. And I go in and I'm like, boop, 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 and it's right where it is, right where it fucking is, and it's a huge game changer. So if anybody out there starting a podcast and you're like us and you don't want to fucking edit, have somebody mark your times. It's a game changer. We all can't afford a Jamie though. That would be the fucking young Jamie. If we could have a young Jamie and we'd share him, right? We would just book him each night.
Well, you must be getting tons. Like we're all getting tons of emails. We'll edit your show for you. Castos will do it for you as well.
Yeah, no, I'm not paying somebody else to edit us. We're editing.
I'm already paying for a website that I'm not getting. Oh, wait. Edit that out. Edit that out.
That's fired. I love it. Hey, no, man, that's how they're gonna fucking listen. Well, Dean, I mean, Martin, Sean, you got anything you want to chew the fat on with this guy before we all peace out of here?
Dean, come on my show.
Yeah, man, I'll be there.
Okay.
If you're ever in Vancouver, look me up.
I might be. My brother-in-law lives there, so we might be heading there sometime soon. I will for sure.
Look me up. I live in downtown, so would love to, meet up with you in person for a beer or something, right? So.
Definitely.
And Martin, I do want you on the show too. Michael just keeps showing up to my show, like sometimes uninvited, but I do want to have you. I'm just kidding.
I'd be down to do it. We'll schedule a Real Debaters time with all of us to do it. I'd love to come on with Michael and
Martin. Go on his show without me. Just go on.
Okay.
Yeah, like sure. Either way, it doesn't matter to me. Like one of the things that Todd noted about the debaters, like that Martin guy's pretty funny. Like we like everybody on the show, but you and I did a debater show together before.
Yes.
It was really fun. Like it was like
the music one was great.
It was
awesome. One of my favorite episodes.
I still go back and listen to that episode because the story that you told was awesome. And I did actually start writing the screenplay for that episode.
Nice.
I wasn't joking, but I need an editor to go over the facts because as I was writing the screenplay for the story that we wrote in that episode, I'm like, but if I write this, is that person going to be okay with what I wrote? Because there was like to be honest, like there was parts where Mike was saying stuff negative about himself and I wasn't comfortable writing that.
Oh God, if I say it and I'm willing to put it out here in the ether, you can use it. It's totally fine. But
there's 10 pages written already. I just didn't like, I'm at the stage where people have to edit.
Okay. So. Well, when Martin comes home for Christmas, we'll all do an episode together in the studio here.
Sure.
So that we can all do that, and then we'll fucking read it, if not beforehand. So
do you guys want to know why my wife was here?
Sure, because she's married to you.
Oh no, go to the movies.
Oh, you want to?
Oh, nice.
I think she just booked my mom for to look after the kids. So that's what she's like. Are you gonna be long? Because I already bought tickets.
What are you guys watching?
I don't know. She didn't tell me.
You're going to Suicide.
Exciting.
I bet you're going to Suicide Squad.
I think so. She just saw the trailer and she's like, "Oh, this isn't what I thought it was."
I heard it's good. I mean, I heard it's getting positive reviews online in terms of a DC movie.
Yeah.
So I mean,
no, exactly.
Me and Jimmy loved it. We thought it was absolutely hilarious. It's James Gunn unleashed. It's James Gunn being James Gunn, and it's almost like this has the legs to if they think to give it to James Gunn again, you could see a lot more things happen with this.
Oh, the rumor is that he's going to be their Kevin Feige when he's done with Marvel.
Oh boy,
that he's going in that capacity. That's rumor, but who knows?
Either way,
that would be awesome. They need
some
Kevin Feige.
Yeah, no, they do. Well, gentlemen, this has been crushing. This has been fun. This has been stupid as always.
It was a great time.
And thank you, Dean, for saying yes and coming on, man. We'll guest on your show anytime. If you want to have anybody on, just send me an email and whoever you want and pick them and take them. And
yeah, you bet. Thanks for having me on. I loved it.
We'll definitely have you back.
Yeah.
We'll definitely have you back.
Awesome.
Yeah, no, you've been knighted. If I could stick my lightsaber behind me over there, through the room, I would, but
awesome.
And
I'd like the debate to be structured so that I can pick Jack Burton again.
You know, it'd be fun to see how many times I can make new ones that you can use what you just did and see if it fits into everything.
Yes.
You save one debate. We should do that, Martin. We should save one of ours from another thing and just change it and see if the words we wrote make
summer camp. Summer camp. Jack Burton summer camp is one I want to attend. I'll just say that.
Amazing. Yes, totally.
Certain ones that need to be recycled for sure that I think now that we're like, yeah, okay, we have a fucking clue, would be even more. Oh God. Oh my God. The sex education one, that one would be good too.
Yeah. I think one would be like what John Carpenter character would be the best summer camp director. That's gonna be a good one. You can pick all of them. You can pick Snake Plissken. You can pick Jack Burton.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
That would be good.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're so inclined and you like what you heard today, go subscribe. That's it. Just subscribe. Just keep us in your life. More subscriptions. This is the name of the game. So that's the free thing to do. But if you've got pocket change that you just found inside of, your pockets or couch cushions or what have you, car console, and you're like, what am I going to do with this $2? You can donate it to us. It goes an awful long way. It just goes back into covering production costs of the show. And if you really, really like us, buy our merch. And there's a prop shop. It's got this is new, guys. We have skateboard decks, but now we have skateboards that come fully assembled.
Ooh.
Yeah. So
please buy a skateboard.
Please buy a skateboard. Nobody's bought a skateboard yet. This is the best joke. Like, you have no idea what you will do, what you purchase of a skateboard.
How much is the skateboard? What's the price on it?
I don't know. I don't know the price. I can give you if there's a problem.
Jack Burton would know the price.
Yeah, Jack Burton would.
True.
He would charge you double.
Yeah. Nothing or double on skateboards.
Yeah.
I think the skateboard decks, I think it's about $70 or $80, and then the full setup's like $150. So trucks, wheels, bearings, the whole nine. A bunch of other stuff there, but it's all the same podcast swag you can find anywhere, which there will be links to both Sean, Geek, and Talking Back in the show notes. If you subscribe to us, it would make us so happy if you subscribe to them, because they're friends, and that means a lot to us. RealDebaters.ca if you want to subscribe to, at Real Debaters on social media, and therealdebaters@gmail.com if you want to send our asses an email. I have been Jack's life coach. Martin, who have you been?
I've been Alfred Pennyworth. I didn't do a British accent. Shit, fuck. Anyways, I've been Alfred Pennyworth.
Sean, who have you been?
Happy Harry Hardon. Live from
where?
Hubert Humphrey High.
And Dean, special guest, who have you been?
I've been Jack Burton. Always Jack Burton, living Jack Burton life.
Watch all the movies, kids. We are gone.